After Francis Ngannou successfully defended his UFC heavyweight title for the first time last month against Cyril Gane, attention quickly turned to the big man's soon-to-expire contract, amidst reports he might not sign a new one until better terms are offered. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has had his say on the situation recently, as combat sports enthusiasts all over the world eagerly watch. Stay with us, as today we are discussing the situation plus Hearn's comments. First up, who exactly is Eddie Hearn? Let's see. For you UFC fans who might not be invested in boxing, Eddie Hearn is one of the most influential figures in the boxing world. With an estimated net worth of around £60 million, Hearn has made a name for himself in recent years by promoting some of the sport's biggest fights. As the head of Matchroom Sport and Professional Darts Corporation, essentially Matchroom Boxing, no big boxing bout goes ahead in the UK or these days globally without some sort of input from the Dagenham, East London local. Hearn got into the boxing game through his father, Barry, who was a well-respected promoter himself and the founder of Matchroom Sport. Since taking the reins of the company, Eddie has been responsible for organizing fights involving boxers such as Saul Canelo Alvarez, Anthony Joshua, Gennady Golovkin, and many, many more. Hearn, unlike other famous promoters such as Don King, generally has a good relationship with the fighters he promotes and calls former cruiserweight champ Tony Bellew a close personal friend. Anthony Joshua also said that he and Eddie will always have a great friendship. Next month, Hearn will be promoting Dillian Whyte in the next fight of British heavyweight king Tyson Fury. Fury will be represented by Frank Warren and Bob Arum. It is likely the winner of the fight will face Ukrainian baller Alexander Usyk in a unification bout towards the end of this year or early next year. What do you know of Hearn? Give us your thoughts on the guy below. So what did he say on the Ngannou contract situation? It seems as though everywhere you turn at the moment, someone has an opinion on Francis Ngannou's contract dispute with the UFC. And Eddie Hearn, who appeared on Ariel Helway's MMA Hour recently, was on hand to give his input on the situation. After his title defense with Cyril Gane recently, Ngannou claimed he had fulfilled his contractual obligations with the UFC, but Dana White countered by saying he is obliged to defend the belt twice. If Gane had won, he wouldn't have had to fight again, but a clause in his contract means that he does. It is no secret that Ngannou has longed for a boxing fight for a while now, which he said the UFC will need to take into account should they want to re-sign him. They have done this before with Conor McGregor, but only once, so it remains to be seen if they would be open to making an exception for Ngannou as well. And Eddie Hearn claimed that when it comes down to it, Dana will probably have to give in. He said, ultimately, during that period, the pressure's on the UFC to go to Francis Ngannou and do a new deal, and they'll significantly overpay him from where he's at. But it comes down to the feeling of the fighter to say, I feel like I've been mistreated, so I don't want to be here anymore. But I would be shocked if they don't do a new deal with Francis Ngannou. I would say it's almost a certainty that they will by the time it all plays out. Interesting. What else did the British promoter have to say about the situation? Hearn sounds confident, but others are not so sure. Apparently Ngannou took it as a major snub that Whyte was not on hand to present him with the belt after scoring the decision win against Gane, with Whyte later brushing it off. And it gets worse. Just hours before Ngannou went to war with Gane, the UFC sent the big Cameroonian's manager an email threatening legal action over their alleged contact with Jake Paul's promotion company. Should Ngannou end up walking away from the most coveted MMA promotion in the world, Hearn believes he will have more than enough options. He told a story on MMA Hour about a bizarre situation during the pandemic when he contacted Ngannou, as he had heard he was interested in boxing. Apparently, he had a minor beef with Tyson Fury's next opponent, Dillian Whyte, and the pair ended up on a Zoom call together with Hearn as the mediator. Hearn said, and next thing, I'm on a Zoom with Dillian Whyte and Francis Ngannou basically going at it. I'll knock you out, he's all hype, blah blah blah, hilarious. He then revealed how Dana got in touch, telling him to stand down, for all intents and purposes, as Francis was still a UFC fighter. He also said the UFC sent him a legal letter to stop him putting it out, which he conceded they were right to do. Do you think Francis Ngannou could hang in the boxing ring against the heavyweight division's best? Let us know below. Some more UFC news now, and Conor McGregor has been on. The MMA world has been teased of late regarding a future showdown between Liverpool's Paddy Pimblett and Dublin's Conor McGregor, something we would absolutely love to see at some point. Conor himself has responded to those rumors after taking a break from peppering the social media newsfeed of his followers with content of training footage. When asked about a potential fight with the baddie, McGregor, who has been known to tear potential opponents apart verbally in the past, was nowhere near his normal self, even showing a little love for the popular Scouser, saying, he's a good kid, Paddy. You've got to love the Scousers. You know, my father was born in Liverpool. One side of my family is from there, so I've got a lot of love for that part of the world, and who knows? You know, I will never say no to nothing. You know, never say never, as they say. A Scouser is slang for someone from Liverpool, in case you were wondering. Pimblett himself responded to McGregor's response, saying, yes, the big fella, never say never. Given the fact that Pimblett, a featherweight, is out next month and McGregor fancies himself still a potential lightweight title contender, it's unlikely these two will fight in the near future. But as the Notorious said, never say never. He would need to trim down, however, as he looked absolutely enormous when interviewed last night at Dublin's Bellator event. Can you see this one happening? Some more from Conor now. Stay tuned to find out what he's been saying. As we just mentioned, McGregor still sees himself as a threat in the upper echelons of the lightweight division, even if more serious people in the game don't. He had a message for current lightweight king Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira after revealing he is back in training and will even be taking part in some light boxing sparring come April. He claims he is getting back to somewhere near his best and feels stronger every day, but told fans he has been warned by his coaches to take it easy and not rush back in. He also said that he has been working on developing a new style, something which is desperately needed, as the Irishman has only recorded one win in the last 5 years. We could even see him moving up to welterweight, given the size of him right now. But McGregor still has his eyes on lightweight gold, although we know that Justin is next up against Oliveira, so he would have to wait for the winner of that one. Then there is Islam to consider, who is next out tonight, Feb 26th, against the ever-dangerous Bobby Green. McGregor said, "If your man's wise, he might give it another month or two. July seems okay for me. I can't say too early, but July, if I'm sparring in April, May, June, July, I could slap the head off most of these guys at the end of April." Obviously, he's only talking in a monetary sense, as he is still a money-making machine, but as legitimate challengers go, maybe not right now. And finally, Islam claims the Charles fight would be easy. Ahead of Saturday night's fight against Bobby Green, Islam Makhachev has claimed that a potential title fight against current lightweight incumbent Charles Oliveira would be easy. He cites his superior wrestling skills as proof he would be no match for Do Bronx, and we will see that wrestling in action this weekend. Makhachev is obviously an elite wrestler, but in Oliveira, we have one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in the entire UFC. Just ask Dustin. So we're not sure the fight would be easy, as you don't get to become a champion in the UFC if you are a pushover. Makhachev would also need to be careful if he plans on using his superior wrestling to take Oliveira down, as he is just as dangerous off his back as he is anywhere else. Who do you see coming out on top if that one ever goes down? Let us know below. As always, thanks for stopping by today, and remember to like and share our video. Also, if you haven't already, why not subscribe to our channel? Bye guys!